We've become addicted to our computers. Here's how I envision email. Email is like somebody coming to your door and they're just knocking. They know you're inside. They say, Eric, you better answer the door because I know you're in there. I've arrived with a big red exclamation point. Come on, I need to be at the front of the line. That's how our email treats us, doesn't it? We feel like we're just chained to our computers. If you want a simplified life, 2 words, power button. Turn it off. All I'm asking is to figure out a way where you can turn it off occasionally. You don't have to throw away your computer or throw away your cell phone. Just turn it off from time to time. And I think living a simplified life means doing something radical like that. Because silence is essential to our spiritual growth. And our spiritual growth is essential to a simplified life. As a matter of fact, growth will not happen if you live your life like you're trading on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. We need some quiet. Number 4 is leave some room. This isn't a new idea. Leave some room in your schedule. What we need to do is we need to mark some time in our schedules to be silent. I remember several years ago, Carmen Wyrick was showing us her calendar. And every day in her calendar at different times of the day were 4 letters, TAWG. And we looked at her and we said, what does TAWG mean? And she said, time alone with God. And she scheduled it. How many times do we write out our schedules and we don't include that? TAWG. TAWG. I'm convinced that in our culture, to live with a sense of space, it requires us to beg for God's wisdom. Not human wisdom, but we need to beg for God's wisdom. Listen to this passage in Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 5. A wise person does the right thing at the right time. That's what we want to be. We want to be a wise person who leaves some space in our lives. Space for peace. Space for the unexpected. Space for something that God's waiting to show us. Let's talk about how things may have looked this morning. Just imagine for a second that you think, I'm going to leave my house and go to church. And let's pretend that it just takes 10 minutes to get to church. And that you can leave your house and get a parking spot. That you can drop off your kids and you can get to Sunday school. And it's only going to take you 10 minutes. But what if we said, let's give ourselves 20 minutes to get to church this morning? How much smoother would your arrival be? Maybe we wouldn't be yelling at our kids because they're making us late. Maybe we wouldn't be spilling coffee on ourselves because we're in such a rush. Maybe we wouldn't sit in Sunday school all sweaty because of the adventure of driving to church. And then when we come and sing Open the Eyes of My Heart, maybe we can do it with peace because we've made space for God. Then there are those who leave early on Sunday mornings because they have scheduled something right after church and we have to go. It's important for us to leave some room. Leave some room to simplify our lives. Number 5 is clean it out. One way to simplify our lives is to toss things out. This is something that I've admitted that I struggle with. I like to save things. I like to put things in a bag and save it for later. Throwing things away is difficult because we feel like we can't throw things away. We may need them again. I have boxes in my basement that are unpacked from when we moved to our house 8 years ago that I have not thrown away because someday I may need something that I haven't seen in 8 years. My wife likes to go through the house and throw things away. We make trips to the Goodwill pretty frequently. She'll go through her clothes and the kids' clothes and get bags to take to the Goodwill, and she won't touch mine because she knows how attached I am. So I reassure. I'll go through my closet, honey, and I'll go through my drawers, and I'll get a big bag of stuff to go to the Goodwill. And when I do that, usually my bag is the size of a sandwich bag. I don't like throwing away things, but we need to. We need to get rid of the clutter. We need to toss it, clean it out, dump it, throw it away, sell it on eBay. Better yet, give it to somebody who needs it. When we do that, what we're doing is we're creating space in our lives. Then when you get to the place where you have some space, instead of going back and accumulating more and bringing it home, let's say you go out and buy a shirt. So when you go out and you buy that shirt, you come home and you get rid of a shirt. Keep that space. The final idea, and this is the biggest idea. This one should have been first, but I wanted to save the most important for last. Recognize when enough is enough. Until you recognize when enough is enough, the other ideas that I've given you aren't going to be helpful at all. We tend to pour fuel on the fire of our busyness when we don't address this important question. When is enough for you? Enough relationships, enough commitments, enough salary, enough toys that you have to keep paying for, enough stories. Have you ever stopped to think, when is enough enough? The reason that our lives are like cluttered garages, they're so complex and so complicated and so busy and so cluttered, is because we haven't dealt with this question. God is teaching me that I don't need more. I just need enough. What will matter at the end of my life is not how much stuff I have. What's going to matter is, did I love God? Did I love others? I love these following scriptures. Proverbs 30 says, first, help me never tell a lie. Second, give me neither poverty nor riches. God, give me just enough to satisfy my needs. 1 Timothy 6 says, so then, if you have food and clothes, that should be enough. Folks, please consider this deeply. When is enough for you? Because when you haven't answered that question, there's always more to do. There's always more to go after. Another question that we should ask ourselves is this. Is the pace that I'm currently living the way that I want to be living? Can you really experience and sustain deep levels of relational intimacy when you're always busy? Can you really know what's going on in the heart of a friend? In the heart of a child, a grandchild, or a spouse when you're so busy? If you're here this morning and you're not a Christian, can you really investigate the claims of Jesus Christ, what He did on the cross, what He wants to do in your life? Can you really, truly investigate that when you don't have any time in your life? That investigation could impact your eternity. If you are a Christian, can you really love God the way you want to? The way that you know your soul is calling out for you to love Him. Can you really do that and experience all that He desires for you today if you're too busy? For me, this series isn't just something that we're teaching. It's something that I'm trying to live and that I'm hoping that you're trying to live. I've raised a white flag with my family and my friends. I'm going to be different. I don't know if you want to join me in this change or not, but we need to be different. We need to get serious about this. And one of the ways that we've got to start is we have to figure out where we are with God today. Maybe today some of you, as we close this series, need to recommit your life to God. Other things have become your God with a lowercase g. Busyness has become your God. Achievement has become your God. Possessions have become your God. Maybe you just need to recommit and say, God, today I want to start here. Or maybe you don't have a relationship with God. Maybe you've been coming to church or you grew up in a church, but you don't have that intimate, genuine relationship with God. You step across that line and you say, God, I don't fully understand it, but God, I want to get right with you today.